For 4 years, they've been chasing Walker Fowler at the top of the Grand National Cross Country ATV Series. Now the likes of Bryson Neal, Jared McClure, Adam McGill, and veteran champion Chris Boar are all hoping to track down the number one, who continues to hold a firm grasp on the top of the podium.
Are you ready to go GNCC Racing?
It's the opening round of the Grand National Cross Country Series, brought to you by AMSOIL for 2019. We're in the deep swamps of Florida. Let's get a track report from Jared Bolton.
I'm here at the Mud Flats for this week's track description, and what a great track this is. Everybody loves coming down to Florida. Regardless if you love these deep sand whoops or not, when you come to Florida, you know you're in for a good race. Everybody gets a little bit worried when you get out on these mud flats. You think you're going to run into some deep mud. Well, guess what? It's not that deep. There's a few spots out there that are just a little bit deeper than that, but overall, you can pick your way through this and you're not gonna have any trouble with it. This track is absolutely awesome. You've got some really fast stuff and you got some super tight stuff. What's that gonna do for the racing? Well, when you get in that tight stuff, the guys that are good at that are gonna catch up with those fast leaders. It's gonna make a really good race. When they get back into the open stuff, those guys are gonna start to pull away again. And guess what? That's great racing. I can't stress enough how phenomenal this race course is, and it's going to make some awesome racing. That's for this week's track description. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Bolton. One rider who doesn't need a track description is the veteran Chris Boar, 6-time champion of this series, and ready to try to get number 7.
Likewise, nothing's changed. We still got the same package. Just did a bunch of shock testing and motor testing. Other than that, we're pretty much the same. As far as race-wise, yeah, we got a different mindset. We come in here, we want our wins back, we want a championship, and yeah, so we worked really hard over the winter break here. Obviously got a new addition to the family, got a little girl, Callie, and yeah, makes me want it even more now. Just go out there and prove, show her what's up, and show her what Dad can do.
Well, Boric's last championship in this series came in 2014. He and everyone else focused on the number one blue Yamaha Walker Fowler to try to get that title back this year, and we are underway. Fowler a good start, but getting bumped around a bit. Push wide, Devin Feehan, young kid, grabbing your hole shot. So well done there. All Balls Hole Shot Award. Feehan going to lead them in of what is now the season opener. Our scheduled opener in South Carolina was rained out. Now, Florida was the season opener for many, many years, so it's pretty familiar for everyone to come to the sand race and not really know where they stand. Quite a bit of variables to deal with. It's the only GNCC that's this sandy, and it's the first race of the year, so no one really has everything fully dialed in. A bit of a guessing game overall, and I believe you will see that in these opening laps. Riders trying to feel things out. Back to the line for XC2 Pro-Am. These are the young guns, one notch below the top XC1 Pro class. Matt Lindell has your All Balls Hole Shot Award there. That's going to help, but I don't believe the start will be quite as critical in Florida as it is in other races. This is a real physical test, and if you're stronger than the competition, you can make passes late. These sand whoops and the palmettos will wear you out. Also want to watch for John Glada Jr., Ronnie Rush. Good starts in XC2. They're the top 3 early on lap number 1. Also Drew Landers and Tanner Walker in the top 5. Look at this, still leading. Devin Feehan out front. Walker Fowler has moved right behind him. I believe that was Adam McGill who just came through, but the top 2 have had a bit of a breakaway. You don't normally see this kind of a gap early. I would have to imagine that some of these guys either got stuck or missed the lines on the opening lap. And there goes Hunter Hart, the highly anticipated rookie debut for last year's Pro-Am champ, now with the big boys, running just inside the top 10. We're just getting started. The Moose Racing Wild Boar from Florida. Stay with us.
GNCC on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Racing around the swamps of Palatka, Florida. This all part of Daytona Bike Week. So you got a lot of fans out here to cheer these guys on, and they need a little pump up of energy because fighting a 400-pound four-wheeled ATV through this rough sand terrain will take it out of you. Right now, Adam McGill rolled by. He has taken the lead in this race. He's third the last time we saw him. I'm telling you, McGill absolutely lives and dies by his starts. Here's Walker Fowler, who was second. He is now way back. So the door's open for McGill. I'm telling you, there are races where you don't even see him for the first hour of the 2-hour event, and there are other ones like this where he gets up front, and I still say it, no one can roll with an empty racetrack like McGill. He just carries his momentum so well. But I feel like he used to be up front like this early in every race. Now it's a 50-50 proposition, but if he has the lead like this, it's going to be tough to catch him. Third place on back is all jammed up here. You got Jared McClure coming by, the number 2, last year's championship runner-up. Then the number 4 of Bryson Neal. 741 is Wesley Wolf. And there's Devin Feehan, who led this race early, so it shows you how quickly things can change. There's no way you're getting passed by just 10 riders straight up. He must have made an error. And here are those muddy fields that Bolton highlighted at the beginning of the show. One bad line through here can change your day. Like literally you can go from first to did not finish. McGill able to survive. Second place rider, I think that's Cole Richardson on the Yamaha, who just came through. Choosing to play it safe, couple other riders going all the way around. I would recommend that, not just to preserve the machine, but ATVs splash a whole lot more than the dirt bikes. These guys got to protect their gloves and their hands. You do not want to get wet gloves and have to deal with blisters. Wow, did you see that? McGill and Richardson absolutely rolling. Looks like it's fast forward through here. Then Bryson Neal, then Walker Fowler. Look at the pace. Cole Richardson looking to capitalize. Maybe try to take the lead from McGill. This guy has the talent, no doubt. Been beset for a couple of years with an illness. Clearly has that figured out, and he is pumped up for this 2019 season. So much is on the line at round number 1. You can really make a statement. Those guys know that the shark is in the water. Walker Fowler is stalking. Looks to me like he has moved into second. There is Bryson Neal, so a bit of a shakeup. And now is that Fowler coming by in the lead. Well, that did not take long. Shuffled back, quickly regained it. Richardson and Neal having a great tussle. Every time you see them, they flip-flop the positions. Fowler into these tight trees. Well, they wanted to make him a statement. He is trying to shut that down. McGill, Richardson, and Neal trying to keep him in sight. This Borich working his way through now. He's the first of the next wave. He's in the top 5, but would have loved to have bridged that gap and run with the lead group, you know it. And then there's Hart going by. Here's Fowler into the flat. And they're not letting him go. McGill has battled with Fowler plenty of times through the years. Look at that. Blasting to the water. Absolutely nailed that fan with some swamp water there. That's all part of the experience at these races. Oh, the intensity is up. You can see how hard they're pushing. Fowler starting to open it up. Takes a look over his shoulder. Sensing that the gap has grown a little bit. Same thing there for Richardson. He's looking for Neal. They stretched it. Neal's got the extra drink. You're gonna need it today. Here's Fowler. And now each time we see him, the gap over McGill is just a little bit bigger. Can Fowler keep this pace up? Might be his race to lose now. I think he's got a big enough gap. He doesn't have to worry about pressure. He has to worry about not throwing it away. And some lap riders shove between himself and the rest of the field. Here comes McGill. And I think you can see it. The pace not quite what it was early. It is so difficult to have the most demanding physical test of the year also be the first race of the year. So they are working their way into shape. Everyone pushes super hard in the offseason these days. Certainly a lot more than you used to have a couple of generations ago. But nothing in the offseason, even riding in sand, can quite replicate you for race pace. But a podium is on the line with 4 riders up front for the majority of the day, and only 3 podium spots up for grabs. Fowler continues his roll. Simply the best in this business to drive for 5 straight titles for Fowler. And he's serving notice right now. It is going to be awfully difficult to unseat him. This battle is still great, though. McGill, now Neal, and then Richardson. Here's Fowler. Well, if there is any fatigue here, these guys have to keep pushing. Time is running out. Well, credit to the veteran McGill. Every time it looks like either Neal or Richardson have a hook in him, he responds to hold that second place spot. Stay with us on Racer TV. Walker Fowler doing his usual thing with the number 1 plate, making it look good in the lead.
GNCC on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Back to the Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC. Walker Fowler got a fresh set of goggles and another drink bottle. Did not have goggles when we last saw him, so they've obviously strategized with the pit stops today. Bryson Neal has gotten to the number 2 spot. He has been hovering around there all day long. It's probably about the best he's done all day, putting it together in the latter stages. That is McGill. Is that machine twisted up a little bit? Not sure, but he lost a ton of ground. Held on to second valiantly throughout most of the day, but it looks like it might slip away from the McGill Mafia master, and that just allows Fowler to open up an even bigger lead. Now, if you're Neal, you got to hope that something goes wrong for your race leader. You can see the rear axles of these machines are bottomed out on those ruts. They do have skid plates, but you're eating a lot of sand right into the drive chain. So you never know what kind of damage can happen to these machines down the stretch. There's Richardson. This battle for second has finally calmed down a little bit. It was nuts how close those riders were for probably about an hour. And in the latter stages, don't count out Chris Borich. He just came by, and he is now ahead of McGill. So Borich with a shot at the podium. McGill could be a combination of things. Blisters, fatigue, who knows? But his bid for the win is over, and now just trying to hold on for a top 5 while Fowler continues to rock out front. Well, same question every year. Can anyone knock off Walker Fowler? Season openers making it look like that is going to be a difficult task. So his mom, how happy she is jumping around through there. He snaked his way through the trees. Yeah, there's the mom in the Yamaha shirt. Here's the checkered flag, and there it is. Walker Fowler wins the opener here in Florida, serving notice that he is just as strong this year as in previous runs. Getting the breakdown with his crew is mechanic Mark Notman, his dad Danny there with the hat.
For sure, I had a great jump, but Devin Feehan was to my inside, and you know, he kind of pushed me a little wide. Adam was able to get up under me. I was third, and you know, I was riding super aggressive the first lap. I was just I wanted to be out front so bad. All the oak tree leaves and pine needles and whatnot were getting kicked up from Devin and on the fresh trail, and it was just, I knew it was going in my radiator, and I did not. I knew we were going to run long. When I biked the track, I knew it was going to be a 5-lapper, and I just didn't want any issues at the end of the race. Unfortunately, I was pushing Devin pretty hard, and he ended up clipping a tree, and then I clipped him, and we went from 1st and 2nd to 7th and 8th. And I kind of had a feeling that it was going to be a little bit of a long day, but in some of the bad mud sections, I did my homework yesterday, inspected them real good, and I think I went from about 8th to 5th right after the first lap, literally right out of scoring. That was pretty nasty over there, and then just the other mud holes, I just kind of wheelied my way through them, and everyone else was kind of being a little bit of a pansy, I guess, for lack of better words. And I just, like I said, I was riding really aggressive, and I knew if I could just get out front and get one good lap, that's all I needed was one good lap, get the gap I like, and then put it on cruise control. That's what we did.
Good strategy there for the champ. Good ride for Bryson Neal. Hard-earned second-place finish. Really was in a battle all day.
We got off to a good start. That's kind of, I think, what helped. It's a little dusty, and we put in a lot of work over the winter, and it seemed to show. And if I can get a second here, me personally, that's saying something, because like I said, I don't feel like this is my strong race. It's one rough track, but I'm definitely looking forward to Georgia. Getting back in the dirt, and I think that's where my strong suit is, and we'll see what happens.
Here are your Rocky Mountain ATV MC results. Boar, look at that, ends up in 3rd, never gave up. McGill and Hart round out the top 5. Nice debut for Hunter. Let's go back to the podium.
Obviously, just getting good starts. I mean, that's key, getting up front with these guys and just running. We know we can run the pace. It's just getting up there right away and trying to make moves. If we're back far, just push the issue and get past these guys. But yeah, like I said, I'm pretty happy to get a 3rd. Max's tires worked awesome out there today. Fly gear kept me fresh and cool. And like I said, just everybody that helps me out, I greatly appreciate it. We wouldn't be up here without you guys.
Good to see some life left with the Boar Bandits. But on fire early, Devin Feehan not only edging everyone for the whole shot, but leading a bit early on, establishing his credentials into 2nd. McGill, then Fowler 3rd, and you heard Fowler start to explain the story. He got back to 2nd, and then he and the leader Feehan tangled. That opened the door for the thriller, Adam McGill, into the lead, and being stalked by Cole Richardson, and they were going fast. McGill was going to have to deal with pressure if he wanted to win this one into the Monster Mile, very difficult section of the racetrack, and he had Richardson right there, and look at that move by Fowler. Not messing around to get up into 2nd. Richardson tries to get him back, though. Great battle. Fowler would continue his charge. He'd get into the lead. As he said, he wanted that. He didn't want to take on Roost. Pack that radiator with pine needles, sand, mud, and everything else. McGill still 2nd. Then it was Richardson and Neal sitting back there in 4th. Not usually known for the starts, but he gets stronger as the race goes on, and that would pay off. Because when the checkered flag was waving, it was all Walker Fowler. And a solid win for the defending series champ, Neal, who crossed the line in 2nd. McGill fading back at the end. That opened the door for Borich with a late surge for the podium. No GNCC race win is easy, but it takes more out of you than ever to do it here in Florida and the Sand Whoops. And that just shows once again Walker Fowler's in shape and ready. Who can stop him in 2019? Stay with us all year long on Racer TV. I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.